Thank you for tuning in to Love in Your Hands with Cynthia Clark, the podcast about how to live life with love, passion, and purpose. This podcast is sponsored by loveinyourhands.com, the place to heal your emotional past, identify real compatibility, and find long-lasting love through the merging of ancient science, modern technology, and quantum physics. Tired of superficial connections? Start your free Soulmate Connection membership today at loveinyourhands.com. Now here's your host, Cynthia Clark, palm reading consultant, compatibility expert, and heart harmonizer. Hi there, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. This is Cynthia Clark, and I am always excited to share ways that we can bring more love into our lives. And that actually can include business, it can include friendships and home life, and it can also include our love life. And today I want to talk a little bit about how we search for things, because we're going to be talking about Pinterest, which a lot of people don't realize is a search engine, which we're going to learn all about from our expert today. But did you know that your hands are also a search engine? And this is something that most people don't realize. They think, okay, my hands are going to tell me something that is set. A lot of people think this, actually. So they ask the question of, when will I find love? Or, what is my purpose? And, these things do reflect, our hands actually reflect everything about us. But in terms of how we should be thinking about our hands, it's more of a tool, just like, Google is a tool that we use, Pinterest is a tool that we use. Your hands, I want you to start thinking about this. Your hands actually are a tool to help you find love. And this is something that is completely revolutionary to most people. But your hands do reflect all different aspects of yourself. So you can think of it like a mirror. It's showing you who you are on all these different levels. So today, what I want you to take a look at in your hands is, okay, who am I? And the one thing that I like to look at with people is their hand shape, because your hand shape actually forms by the time you are about 6 years old. So you can think about being in your subconscious mind, you're a little baby, you're just forming your personality. By the time you're about 6 years old, your hand shape is going to gel into what it is for the rest of your life, okay? And that shape actually reflects different aspects of who you are, and also who you should be searching for in terms of a compatible partner. So the easiest thing to do, first of all, is take a look at your fingers, okay? You look at your fingers relative to the palm. If your fingers are short relative to your palm, or if your fingers are long relative to your palm. So that's the first thing you want to look at. And the next thing you want to look at is the palm itself. Do you have a square palm, or do you have a rectangular palm? Okay, so by the way, your best match and who you should be searching for is going to have not the same as you, but the opposite of you. So if you have short fingers and a rectangular palm, which is actually what I have, my best match and my soulmate match, who is my husband, has long fingers and a square palm. So you want, that's one way to look at your hands and go, who would be a good match for me? Who should I be searching for? So if you have long fingers and a rectangular palm, you should be looking for somebody with short fingers and a square palm. So that's the first part of the process that I use to help people actually find compatibility through their hands. So that's today's very short little palm reading lesson. And now I'd like to introduce our very special guest. We have Lisa Farrington, who is a Pinterest marketing strategist. And I'm really excited to learn more about this, because I think a lot of people have heard of Pinterest. It's been out there for quite a while, but we don't necessarily know what it means or how it works or how it can help us. And I'm excited to hear her expertise. So thank you, Lisa, so much for coming on the show.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited to be here, and it's really interesting learning about like the palms. I just didn't know that what you just said before. It was, yeah, it's really exciting.
Yeah, it is exciting. It's exciting to know that there's tools out there that are available to us if we just learn about them. And so, yeah, so how did you get into what you do, and why are you passionate about it?
Okay, so I am from the UK, and until my late 20s, early 30s, I was working just like in an office doing like government work. And I just got a little bit bored of life. I got divorced. I'd had to sell my marital home, and I just wanted to go traveling. So I was reading up about, I had a lot of debt, unfortunately, from the divorce. I'd like shouldered the whole of the divorce costs, and I'd been left with the house with all the negative equity. So it was kind of like a really scary time, but I really wanted to go traveling. I'd never done it when I was younger. So I I knew that I had to earn money while I was away. I couldn't just go traveling because I had to service the debt. So I was reading up on the virtual assistant wasn't a thing then, but there were a lot of bloggers doing um, like making money online. And so I was really interested in that. But it didn't happen straight away. I actually went to Australia and I started working there. And then when I was working there, I kind of was working in like a toxic work environment, and my mental health, it was quite negative on my mental health. And I realized that I needed to change. So I started looking into what sort of things that I could do online so that I could travel in the future and like take my work with me. And I first looked into virtual assistants because like a housing strategist by trade. I had a strategy background, but I'd originally trained as a business administrator. So for me, virtual assistants made sense at first, and I looked into doing that. But then when I found out you could work on Pinterest, I was like, oh my gosh, I have to do this. Basically, because I love Pinterest. I've been on it since near the very beginning when it first came out, and like Pinterest obsessed. I've got like boards and boards and boards like for planning things like Halloween parties. Like this year I had a haunted mansion, like Disney's haunted mansion theme. Next year I'm planning like a vampire theme. I've done like a zombie party and had like all boards for like cocktails and canopies, all different travel places, inspiring quotes, vision boards, various things like that. I started learning about things like meditation and spiritual practices. So I just collected like all these different things. And when I found out, I found out about a couple of courses, and I was like, oh my gosh, I really need to do that. And then I was really scared, and I was like, can this really work? So I found someone that actually did it themselves, another Pinterest manager, and she was telling me about it. And I found out like what she thought of. There were like two courses I was looking at, and then I went back to the UK. Then I moved back to the UK because I couldn't set up my business while I was in Australia. I was being sponsored there, and I went on holiday to Florida, and the course came out then, and I purchased the course. I just sat by the pool and just did like watched all the training videos, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. And during part of the training, I realized that the Pinterest virtual assistants, they weren't really thinking outside of the box. They were just doing what the client wanted them to do, whereas I had that strategy background. So for me, it was really good to be able to take my transferable skills and then actually utilize them into my own business. So I started out with like a lifestyle virtual assistant, but I didn't advertise the VA. I just did advertise Pinterest. So then this year I rebranded to become more like in terms of the strategy side, and like very targeted towards helping my clients as well. So yeah, I just absolutely love Pinterest. I love one of the things like I get with the analytics and the data side, I've got experience of that. So it's been perfect for using those skills. But one of the things I love about it as well is I get to use my creative side. So previously I'd be sitting in an office writing reports and doing facts and figures and research. I still get to do like the research and the facts and figures, but now I get to do the pin design as well. So I get to like, I'm not actually a graphic designer, but I've like been like learning a lot of things on how to design things and then practicing all my different images, and I just love it. It's great. And it just gets to be able to use my more creative side, and then also utilize the skills that I've trained, like done a degree in and things like that, to actually, so they're not wasted. So yeah, it's really good. I love it.
Well, it sounds really interesting. So what would you tell people who are just brand new to Pinterest, or maybe they haven't even heard of it before? What would you tell them about it?
So I think when you said like at the beginning about we're all searching for things, that really is the key with Pinterest. Pinterest is a visual search engine. It's not social media. And a lot of people, and this is why a lot of businesses fail on Pinterest, is that they come with the mindset that it is social media. It's actually the third biggest search engine behind Google and YouTube. So people are actually typing in the search bar what they're actually looking for. And Pinterest actually has the ability to read what text is on the pin as well. It's very highly advanced. It's getting more and more advanced. So I guess the mindset shift that it is a search engine rather than social media. It's not, I mean, it's very visual like Instagram, but it's actually different because people are actually searching for it. They've now put the hashtag function into it to be similar to Instagram. But yeah, it's quite different in the way that it works, and that's probably the biggest shift I see people needing to get into to use it successfully.
Hmm. So if you're just a user, what you do is you just go in and you search different things just like you would on Google or YouTube.
Yeah, so there's a couple of different ways you can use it. So you can go and search for something. So say for this year's Halloween party, I was searching haunted mansion party, haunted mansion props, various different things like that. But you can also just scroll through, and the majority of users are using like a mobile phone, cell phone, or something like an iPad or mobile device. So you've got a split second to catch their eye when they're scrolling through. But you can also, Pinterest in the feed will also, it knows what I like. So I've got a couple of different accounts, and if I go onto my clients' accounts, I'll get different things. So in my personal account, I'll get a lot of Halloween things. I've got a house rabbit, so I started rabbit things, so rabbits pop up for me. Whereas if I'm in my business account, things like Pinterest will pop up, and blogging, various different things like that. So Pinterest is very intelligent. It knows what I like, and it knows what I pin. So I can just scroll through as well and just pin different things. So a lot of users are actually using it to plan their purchases. So a pinner is basically on the platform to search for like inspirational things. Maybe like it would be how to decorate their home, to learn how to do something, and to plan their purchases. So 90% of users are actually using it to plan their purchases, and that's greater than any of the other social media platforms. So yeah, they're on there to do a lot of things. I mean, when I did my branding, I purchased fonts because of it. I've purchased courses. I've got like NIC storage cubes, which I use to keep my rabbit out of away from like the TV wires and things like that. So I found them on Pinterest. Anything and everything. It's so huge. I think the common misconception is that it's for like weddings, recipes, and like crafting, which is very true. It has been for those, but it's becoming so big now. Predominantly, it was a female orientated platform, but now 50% of the signups are from men. So it's getting more and more diverse. Like for yourself, like find love, that would be huge on it. Like relationship advice is really big. I've worked with a number of different people like coaches, and there's a lot of people looking for like mindset, self-care activities, like anything and everything really. It's really interesting.
Hmm. Yeah, Yeah, it sounds like it's a lot more diverse than maybe a lot of people give it credit for,
Yes,
especially
definitely.
if they don't know about it.
Mhm.
So as a business, what would you recommend for a business to start using Pinterest if they are just getting into it?
Okay, so the first thing is, and a lot of people really miss this one, is to set up your profile strategically. So for that, you need to, because it's a search engine, you need to research what your search engine optimization keywords are. And the way you can do that is by just literally typing into the search box. So for yourself, it could be like find love, palm reader, and then you need to start ranking for those terms. You like I would spend like at least a day researching for a client, but like you could like say spend an hour researching and pick which keywords you want to rank for, and then you need to fill out your profile with those. So you've got like your title name, like your business name, you've got your profile description, and then your board. So your board titles are really important to use those keyword rich descriptions in the title, and then also the board descriptions as well. So you're going to explain. So for one board, it might be about how to palm read, and you need to really explain that in the board description. And then the next stage is actually making the pins and writing the pin descriptions, where you're also going to use the SEO keywords in as well. So the pin is what attracts someone. That's what stops someone, like a pretty graphic. You can use text on it. If you're someone like a photographer, you might not use text. Or if you're a product-based business, if you like a fashion item, you might just use a picture. But for yourself, you might say design a pin. And one of the tools I use is Canva, and they have a load of great templates on there that you can use. They can help you out with them. And then so you need that to be attractive and to draw people into it. So they need to want to click to your website to find out more. So the idea is that the pin links to any URL you choose, so people can use it to do a variety of different places. The majority of people send it to like a blog or a website, but you can send it to YouTube, you can send it to Instagram, you can send it to like a landing page. One of my clients' favorite ways is to have like a download, a freebie download. So I've got a confidence and mindset coach, and she has a download on a confidence freebie, like affirmations, like a little toolkit with a few different things and audio. So we create pins for that, and then it goes straight to her landing page for that, and then she can get people straight on her email list so she can retarget them. She can also send them to a blog post where she warms them up first to her, and then they can download her freebie opt-in. Then you can also send it to a product for sale. So that particular client, she has some mindset workbooks, a few different types of workbooks on different topics. So we can also just send the pinner to her actual mindset workbook to purchase. So it's quite interesting, like how you can actually use it. You can use it like a variety of different ways.
Hmm. And it sounds like maybe it would be good to direct people to different places.
Yes, definitely. Yeah.
Because yeah, most people have fairly complicated businesses and don't necessarily just want to send them to one place.
No, yeah. I mean, what you can do with that particular client, she has got a YouTube channel, so we can send them to a particular video. She also has got, I think it's 2 Facebook groups, so we can also send people to join her Facebook group. There's obviously her mailing list, so she's got about 3 different freebies for a mailing list, so we can create pins for those. She's got like at least 12 blog posts, so they all get different pins as well. Obviously her store, it's just like any URL you can think of, you can send people to. So it's really good in that it is, yeah, you can send it to a variety of different places. It's really what your goal is for Pinterest. How you want to, like, if you're just selling something like fashion, you might want them to buy straight away. And with her top coaching package is, it's not the cheapest, so it might take, someone might not buy it straight away, but they might once they've seen her, got to know her, joined her email list, know, like, and trust factor, they maybe purchase like her coaching package then. So yeah, there's different ways and to use it. I mean, bloggers will be using it to drive traffic, to get like a lot of people on their website so that they can create income from advertising or affiliate marketing. You can even have affiliate marketing pins as well. It's huge. There's so many things you can do with it. It's great.
Hmm. And it seems like you have more control over it than, say, some of the, like a Google search engine. Like, we have no idea really what they're doing half the time, right? So it feels like this, you have so much, I see all these different options that you can do it feels very empowering.
Mhm. And one of the great things about it is it actually helps rank you in Google as well. If you've got a pin that does really well, it actually that boosts your profile up with Google. So if you actually searched 31 affirmations for confidence into Google, that client of mine will come up for her blog post that because she had those were really popular pins that we did. And so she dominates the whole first page just for that. I mean, obviously, affirmations of confidence is like millions and millions, but I think there's at least, if even with 31, I think there's at least like 7 million search results. And she is like top, like the first page, like, and the next two pages as well. It's just, she's dominating it. It's amazing what it can do just because it's so powerful. It's sending the signal to Google that so many people are loving this pin and this blog post, that it's really important. So a lot of people don't actually know that as well. So it's quite yeah, it's one of the benefits of it, that it can help. So yeah, if people are searching for different things, they can find, you would choose what you want to rank for. So for me, I would want to rank for like Pinterest. For yourself, you would choose what you wanted to rank for, and you would really utilize those target keywords to choose what you want to rank for, so people can actually find you.
So does this work for all types of businesses, or are there some that it works better for than others? Or, like, what if you have, just as an example, what if you have a really boring business? Like, let's say you're in, insurance or something, like not too many people are interested in that. And yet it's very important. And obviously we need stuff like that. So, what would you recommend for somebody like that?
Okay, so it's not going to work for absolutely every business. It can do very well for a lot of businesses. The best way to find out if it's going to do well or not is to literally search in the search engine, and sorry, in the search field. And if it's coming up, there's pins on it. And if it's coming up as well, Pinterest will give you some. So if I start typing in insurance, I'll do it now because I don't know what it's going to bring up. But if I start typing in insurance, let's say, it will start bringing up suggestions for me. So I type in insurance and it gives me insurance marketing ideas, insurance humor, insurance quotes, insurance logo, insurance agent. There's quite a few. So basically, people are actually searching for that. One of the things I would say is the hardest. It depends if you want to do Pinterest marketing organically or if you want to pay for advertisements, which are called promoter pins. If you want to do it organically for free, or say you want a VA or a Pinterest manager to do it for you organically, it is harder for, say, a bricks and mortar business who doesn't do anything online. So when I first started out, I was too scared to just like let loose on any old business. So I borrowed my sister's hairdressing. She had like hair and beauty salon. She focuses now on hairdressing, but she didn't have any online. It was just literally a shop in a little town. So we started working on that, and she was getting lots of traffic. But the problem was it was coming from places like the US, and she's based in the UK. So if she had, one of the things I'm trying to get to do is to create an online balayage course, which is all about, the color in your hair. And that would be perfect for her. And to create a store where she'll sell things like shampoos and conditioners and send them out like worldwide, that would do amazing. But for her to really get her ideal customer to come to her, we had to be specific in using hashtags for the area where she was and use that in the keywords. But that is a lot harder if you're trying to do it organically for free. Now, if you're using paid advertisements, the promoter pins, that is easier because you can really target. But in terms of if you're just a bricks and mortar business, you might find it harder and not as beneficial. Whereas, say, someone like myself, I work on Zoom and I can work with clients worldwide. It works really well for me. For yourself, let's say you had an online course, something like that, then that would work really well as well. Okay.
I actually have several.
So yeah, it would work great for you with that. If you can work with anyone in the world, like wherever they are, then it's Pinterest is amazing for that because it gets you out globally. It was predominantly US based, but now the signups worldwide are just increasing so much. Pinterest recently opened an office in Sydney, Australia a couple of months ago. They really want to target that sort of area, Australia and New Zealand. They've got obviously offices worldwide, but they're growing huge. They've got 322 million monthly active users, which although it isn't as big as Facebook or Instagram, they're growing really fast. It's like one of the fastest growing social media platforms. And also people on Pinterest have a higher disposable income, so they have more money to spend, which is obviously great for business owners. Because I want the people with disposable income to pay for my services, rather than someone who can't really afford it. So it's
that's really an interesting statistic. I didn't know that. That's really interesting.
Yeah, it's I think it's something like, I'll just check. I think it's something like 41% of Pinterest users have, I think it's a household income of over 75,000 US dollars. I'll just double check that because it's been changing recently. It depends what data you look at, but the latest data, let me see. Oh, sorry. So previously it was 39% and now it's gone up to 41%. So yeah, they have over $75,000. I think it's household income. Yeah, household income. So, and that is more than the other social media networks. So it's really good. The median age of a pinner is 40. So it's got 1 in 2 millennials use Pinterest, but you've got a range of like the age. So it's kind of like for all ages. And some people, especially like empaths, are kind of struggling with things like Instagram because they perceive it to be more fake. But Pinterest is great because there isn't like competition and it's a very positive platform. You don't really get any negativity. You don't have to engage. It's not all about the likes and the comments. So
that can be frustrating and also kind of scary, especially when you get negative, feedback. I've had to deal with that over my 11 plus years as a palm reader because there's a lot of misperceptions around it. So yeah, I've been called a witch and the devil and all this sort of junk, and it can be hard for somebody like me. But
if you're really absorbing like the negative feelings, like I've got to admit, I don't do much Instagram marketing myself, just because I love Pinterest. So I tend to use like Facebook and Pinterest. One of my biggest problems is that people don't know about Pinterest for marketing. So I have to look at other platforms to really get them on, but to educate them really to the benefits of it. But yeah, it's great for people who are, let's say or if you're a business where you don't like going live on Facebook and selling and things like that, you don't like being on video. Like I don't really like being on video. I'm not like
and yet you're lovely. It's great to see you.
I guess I'm talking about something I'm passionate about. It's probably a bit easier. But yeah, it's you don't have to do all that. You can definitely make video pins. Video pins have come in recently. They're great. You'll see a lot. Pinterest basically went public earlier this year in April 2019. So yeah, it went public, and then you're starting to get a lot of bigger brands now. When I was in the US last, I was seeing like Disney World was coming up. At the moment, in the last like month or two, I've been seeing like Maleficent 2 being advertised. I saw a lot of adverts for Halloween, then for Christmas. I mean, like I'm in the UK, so Debenhams is big. I don't think you've got that in the US, but
At least
what,
not in Arizona.
what's the Home Depot store? Is it Home Depot or something? I've seen
Yeah,
it.
Home Depot. Yeah, sure, we get that. So,
Um,
so this is so interesting. So how do you work with people, and yeah, how do people reach you?
Okay, so I have a variety of different ways. I've got my website, details them all, is www.lisafarringtonco.com. That's LISAFARRINGTON and then CO company .com. But one of the ways that people can do it is completely outsource their Pinterest management to me. So I design all the pins, set up the profile, and just they're hands off. It's completely hands off. So I have a variety of packages for that. Then I also offer one-off packages. So for someone who wants to DIY it themselves, I offer strategy calls. I offer audits if they want to just check if their account is up to standard. Basically, whenever I take an account on, I always have to optimize it. There's always some improvement you do, because you should be at least auditing it once a year, because it changes so fast and the algorithm changes and different things become more priority. Then I also offer a coaching package. So where, like say, an online course, someone wants more handheld support, I offer a one-to-one coaching package via Zoom. That's like the gist of them. I do offer like ad hoc specials every now and again when like I see that someone needs something. Like I've done like a Pinterest challenge to help people learn about how to use it, various things like that. But generally, yeah, full scale Pinterest management, or I'll do like one-off services for them, like an audit or a strategy call, maybe
Hmm.
like any account audit, like via Zoom, so I can show them around, or training and coaching on it.
All right. Well, wonderful. Well, thank you so much for sharing your wisdom around Pinterest. And it gets me really excited to get on there and try it out, both as a user and for my business. So thanks for sharing your passion. And everybody out there, thanks for listening. Remember that you can live life with a love, passion, and purpose. So get out there and do it. And thanks for joining us today. Thank you for listening to Love in Your Hands. Please rate, review, and subscribe to show your support. This podcast is sponsored by loveinyourhands.com, the place to find the secret ingredients to your soulmate. Start your free Soulmate Connection membership today using the most innovative and accurate algorithm to match you to potential long-lasting love, all at loveinyourhands.com.